White House is reversing course, and it now says it will send partial payments this month to Americans who receive SNAP benefits. This is after federal judges took action. The USDA announced it planned to freeze payments because it ran out of money due to the shutdown. But two federal judges ruled on Friday that the White House must at least partially fund that program using its contingency funds. It could take a week or two for those funds to show up on SNAP cards. And across the country, companies are also stepping up to fill the void. NBC News correspondent Priscilla Thompson has more on how they're donating food and hot meals to help people during what's a pretty difficult time.
As millions of families grapple with the effects of the prolonged government shutdown, across the country, average Americans coming together to help those in need. This weekend, neighbors in Washington, D.C. launched a national Trick or Treat for Canned Goods campaign. Their non-perishable treats donated to local food banks and charities.
I think that it says that as a city, we are willing to show up for one another when the government refuses to show up for us.
That effort, reported on by our NBC4 Washington, is just one of many. Local Buy Nothing Facebook groups, a place where neighbors exchange spare items for free, have become an unexpected hub for community members to lend a hand. DC member Jackie Henderson, a furloughed federal worker herself, kicked off the trend when she posted offering to sponsor a family.
My situation, it's not great, but I'm able to hold and I'm able to, weather this storm. I know that there are people out there who probably can't. I can't feed the entirety of Washington, D.C., but I can feed somebody. I ended up meeting with a woman, a mother of 5 yesterday, and I took her when we went grocery shopping.
Others following her lead, posting they wanted to help too.
We are seeing a tremendous upsurge of neighbors who are offering to buy them their groceries for the next month. We have communities that are coming together once a week so that community members can bring what they might have in abundance.
Businesses also helping fill the void. Too Good to Go, which offers unsold food from places like Whole Foods and Circle K at steep discounts, says they've seen an uptick in orders as some families stretch tighter grocery budgets.
It's how we get the most out of the food that we have. So really making sure that we're doing everything to eat our leftovers, and, you can refactor food in lots of different ways so that you're getting the most out of the food that you've already purchased.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
And in San Francisco, NBC station KNTV visited local restaurant Mazra, whose owners announced they would give free meals to 50 families the entire month of November.
Within 3 hours, I say we got about like 200 emails.
Emails from the elderly, single parents, and more, they say, all in need of a helping hand.
There's no real indication as to when the government's going to, end this.
As the shutdown stalemate continues among lawmakers across the country, it's neighbors helping neighbors in need. Priscilla Thompson, NBC News.
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakah, Quadash, the Balance Apostles of GMS, and sincere Shalom to the brothers out here pushing this truth and sincerity. Now, as you read from the title, it says neighbors helping each other as SNAP benefits dry up for families. And of course, they have this thing where you got these food distributors that actually, especially in DC, that's helping out, supposedly, giving out food and all this other stuff. Now, we're in a land where it's all about milk and honey and all this other stuff, but everything's all bittersweet now. So, with all this that's going on, you would think that this place will remain great as it is. Everybody's said this make America great again. They put their hopes into the presidents and all this other stuff, right? So why is this place turning into a third world country? Well, it's simple, because of prophecy. It's always meant to be like that, right? So, to start it off, this is Proverbs 29:2. It says, the righteous are in authority, and the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And that's all you've been getting left and right is people mourning because of all the stuff that's going on. But they was just talking about that if you don't vote, then you're the problem. Well, at this point, everybody's the problem, I guess, because nobody ever sat here to talk about that the whoever is voted in is the problem. No, it's the people that's the problem now, which is hilarious. So, for all those that was putting their faith and hope into this place, this is what you get. Judges 10 and 14 says, "Go and cry to your gods, which ye have chosen. Let them deliver you in your time of tribulation." And these people are at the time of a small tribulation. So keep grinding to the government, keep giving you back your SNAP benefits, and eventually they will. This is just a trial run for when they implement the MTOB, because that's all this is, and that's all I see it really. Just like with the whole crown thing, that was a test run by the virus itself to see how people react, to see who's willing to to take the pokey stick to keep their jobs, to see who will break under the pressure, because that's all it is, breaking under pressure to see how many people will fold. Because why? Because of how because of how reliant people are on this society. Here you have other countries that actually, let you have your own business, grow your own crops, and all this other stuff. No, here you need a license for everything you do. I mean everything. So that's where these people are screwed. They don't know what to do. So, and if you notice, did anybody actually see a problem with how this is all running? So people are actually out here, be able to give people food using their own money because they actually have the money to do so, for the people that doesn't have the money to do so. But the biggest thing that people doesn't point out is that people are only able to do this because businesses are still open to actually be able to purchase this stuff. So what happens when these businesses close out and you can't buy any of this stuff? What happens when those food trucks start coming in? Are people going to be this easy to share with? Or are they going to withhold all that stuff to themselves? And then let's exclude the riots for the moment. For the people that are desperate for their food, they will start breaking into people's houses just to take the food. This is where people don't pay attention to that part. You're only able to do it because these businesses are still able to be open and take your money. But the moment these places close down and people start raiding the place and taking all the stuff, for the people that don't have that came too late, they screwed. So this is Isaiah 9 and 19. It says, "Through the wrath of the Lord of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother," meaning nobody's going to be sparing each other. Families, husbands, wives, you name it. Elderly people, grandparents, ain't going to matter. How even children going to come to a point killing whoever they need to, even their own families. They already doing it to this day. And history repeats itself. It says, "And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry," because these people like to try to find us, because we've been speaking on stuff like this for a long time, but they won't be able to find us. That's the hunger they're going to be left with, the hunger of not attaining the knowledge or knowing what to do, because they'll go to every other place to seek an answer, but they was talking down on us about the answers we gave them, and now look at them. It was the same way with the of course I talk about here, as far as in Baltimore in 2015, where we had the riots and people was coming up left and right. But the moment they let down on the martial law, everybody just went back to doing their whole thing. Some people we saw walk by, didn't even come back to approach us. So it's going to be that same thing again. And it says here, "And he shall eat on the left hand and shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm," which means they're going to resort to cannibalism. They're gonna break into families' homes and all sorts of stuff. Governments ain't gonna help them or anything. So in the end, they pretty much screwed. right? This is basically, like I said, leading up to the MTOB. So the, how should I say? I'm trying to remember the word for it, but basically the outcome is always scaled by what's going to happen. So I'm gonna get this scripture. It's probably the last one actually. This is Revelations 13 and 16, because this is basically the outcome I was talking about. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark in their right hand on their foreheads." I'm talking about the MTOB. And it doesn't matter if it's on the hand or the forehead. If you take it, you're screwed. That's the point that it's getting to. It says, "And no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." So, for these people that wants to make this place great, go ahead. All you have to do is just take that MTOB. This place won't last, of course, but I guess you'll get back what you want, and that is if they decide not to offer you right then and there after you take it, because they still only want a certain amount of people to take in. And they feel like they have more than enough. Well, that was the whole point of the shutdown with the money anyways, is to, bring a calling. That's why they make the movie, I forgot the name of the movie. I done seen it a few times. The Purge. And people just go around killing each other. This is the number out, or weed out the ones that don't need to be around. Especially if we're off the face, he can run his captivity smoothly until the Lord comes back and destroys his place, which he already knows that's going to happen. But the rats ain't going to escape. But back to the matter of the topic, this is all planned out as usual. Why else would they decide to go back and try to give some form of benefits again? Like I said, they're gonna bring this back slowly, but the next time something like this happens, it might just be permanent, where you never get your benefits again. I'm talking about not just food, but health care, job benefits, all these other things, because everything's going to tighten down to a T. And these people ain't going to know what to do. So, this is a little edifying with that, Shalom.